Greetings and welcome to all who are listening to this transmission. This is the divine disclosure about year 2021, the energies that this year is bringing, what lies ahead, and of course, how the humanity can make the most of these energies to the highest advantage for all.
Ko te whaia, o te om. O te om. Ko te whaia, o te om. O te
This year is the year of emerging of the new consciousness into the visible reality. You're aware that we are going through the phase of receiving the energies of purging for humanity, merging with the divine consciousness. Now, new consciousness is emerging into the visible reality, and then humanity is taking off, like a surging forward on the path of the new civilization. There is nothing gentle, subtle, or reluctant about year 2021. It is the year of a great potency, less turbulent than the previous one, but far more intense. This is the year where the different promises are fulfilled, and it is bringing the energies of demise of many, many aspects of our lives, but also a surprise in many other aspects of what is new and coming into humanity. When you think of the birth, there is really nothing slow about it. Think of the supernova. It simply explodes into beingness. Or the birth of the biological child. At the time when it is push time, there is no thinking or being distracted with anything else. It is the absolute focus. So this year is the abrupt emerging. It's year of unexpected, it's year of new, it's year of visible new. So how is universe advising us to navigate throughout this magical year? 2021 has already delivered a bag full of surprises. And in this occasion, universe wants us to know and be more informed about certain aspects. So we are going to share what has already happened. And yet this year hasn't even started properly. The full potency of 2021 is starting around the 12th of February, which is the time when actual lunar or magnetic cycle starts. For New Zealand, it is the 13th of February. So at this occasion, I want to inform everybody that we are planning a powerful event through the source force with this opening and activation of the vortex forward. Let us also be grateful to the divine intelligence for giving us the source force energies and platform, as it is highly, highly important and useful to us all throughout this year and beyond. So you can put that date in your diaries and more information will follow. However, what are these tremendous gifts and happenings and phenomena that have already hit our planet and humanity? Firstly, in preparation for this year, on the 21st of December, with the energy of the solstice, we have received the powerful Star of Bethlehem blending. Many have been aware of this phenomenon, and it was truly celebrated throughout the planet, and we have received the codes. Might not be very clear, so that's why divinity is giving us this disclosure further. With the blending of that conjunction between the planets Jupiter and Saturn, we have received the blending between the solar and lunar energies, because Jupiter stands for the energy of the sun, of the electrical potency, connected with the central sun of our galaxy, Alcyon, and also the cosmic central sun, Ara. where Saturn is standing for the magnetic lineage, which is connected with the moon and the galactic moon Aran Ma Nui, which is also connected with the central cosmic moon Ara Nui. So the blending of these energies have created a very powerful aspect of humanity restoring our lineage of sound. All life is created through the light and sound, and humanity was missing the axis of sound. In a way, humanity was blind, but also deaf. Sorry, old humanity, but that's how it used to be. So in restoration of these energies, very potent internal organ was activated. That is the inner labyrinth, the middle ear, which is formatted in this dense crystalline bone in the way which creates the vortex and then moves into the infinity corridors of the labyrinth. They're filled with crystals. So this organ in this new activation starts working as the third ear. We were talking about the third eye, the unified eye of the axis of the light. Now we are talking about the unified ear on the axis of the sound. This is so important for humanity that can't be emphasized enough. And of course, throughout the year, we will be working a lot with these activations because now we are able to hear the song of creation. We are able to hear our planet, the cosmic divine mother, the song of all the celestials. It is very, very powerful unfoldment for humanity. All of the members of the source force who are stepping now, they are receiving this activation as a free gift. And of course, throughout the year, we'll be having much, much more activity and work with the axis of the sound. So after this, the second very powerful activation started happening, and that is the bursting or emerging of the humanity as a new civilization from the proverbial egg of creation. So we have been reborn as the star nation, and the star of Bethlehem also synchronized this rebirth. And throughout these several weeks, there have been many, many happenings and energetical activations and intensities that were actually allowing humanity to now stand tall, to take our rightful space within the star nations. It is the evolution of humanity. Just like you can see a child who is at 3 years old displaying certain faculties and abilities, but is holding possibility for the further growth. When you see the same child at the age of 18, you can see how much of this has developed and these possibilities have actually manifested. When you see the same person at the age of 33, you may see even further development. So in a similar fashion, humanity is emerging from the stages where we were like a 3-year-old into our higher opening, just like a cosmic puberty. We are starting to blossom into our next stage. So the star nation is a very, very potent and different stage for humanity. Let us stand tall. Let us receive all that we need to receive to fully become, develop, and manifest as a star nation. As we go throughout the year again, many, many of these protocols, aspects, teachings, interconnectedness, and so forth will be activated, but it's important for us to know. This is again the moment when we can say, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you, thank you, thank you to the divine intelligence for giving us the source force vortex vibrations that we can work with and we can actually manifest into this level. The third very important thing that happened throughout this preparation, and again, remember that the year hasn't even started properly yet, we are receiving all of these special gifts. So the third gift that happened within the first couple of weeks of the 2021 was the restoration of the missing elements on the earth plane. So we used to have on the axis of masculine and feminine energy, the elements of air and fire as a masculine axis, and the energies of water and earth as a feminine axis. And we used to take this as granted. These elements, earth and water, are feminine, magnetic, fire and air are masculine. However, we didn't have the aspect of masculine water and earth element, and also feminine fire and air. These elements were missing, and humanity was trying to move ahead on one leg. It is very important that we use both legs, that all 8 elements are now in activation, and that means that the 8-pointed star is now active on the planet, and we have an ability to spin that vortex, or in our consciousness, activate the vortex. All these energies were downloading in a tremendous intensity and with such a precise divine intervention. And I had the privilege and pleasure to be part of these processes, while most of our eyes were initially on the conjunction between the Saturn and Jupiter. Now, towards the 7th and the 8th of January, there was the powerful conjunction between Saturn and Pluto, and I was placed to work with those particular energies. All that journey was such an adventure that, of course, deserves to be addressed in a separate video, and more information will follow and will flow. However, it is important for us to understand what we have already received in preparation for the power of this year. So with this conjunction between Saturn and Pluto, our planet and humanity received something very powerful. The message is, all the restrictions are now dissolved. The enslavement of humanity is over. All of the limitation of humanity has ended. So as Saturn was always known as the planet of restriction, where Jupiter was seen as the planet of expansion, all of the programs that were placed through the planet and on the magnetic line as energies of restriction for humanity, they are now being dissolved and reprogrammed through the same planetary system. So Saturn, in the conjunction with Pluto, is bringing us the gift of ending of the restrictions. And that is one of the most powerful messages for this year. So how are we going to navigate through this amazing year? When it comes to the energies of fulfillment of the promise, we're looking at demise and surprise. So how are we going to deal with both? When the energies of demise, which is the shake and break energy, come, please let them dissolve. If you're feeling about something like, oh no, please keep that because it was so powerful and potent and worked, do not let yourself be attached to anything from the old. If it is dissolving and going on personal level, group level, nation, planetary level, let it go. Because if universe is dissolving it, we really don't need it anymore. At the same time, when the new surprise comes in, because these energies are going to be very abrupt, this birth is instant. So when these surprises start popping up in our lives, it is so important that we open up to receive them, honor them, celebrate them, allow ourselves to grab that surprise, and allow divine to give us all the tools, the protocols, the ways how we work with this in our own lives and on the planetary level. Again, at this stage, we can say, thank you, thank you, thank you, divine, for giving us the source force, because we really need it at this point to activate and live that life of vortex, of oneness on our planet. So what is actually going to happen in our lives with these powerful energies? The characteristics of this year is alignment. First, everything must come in alignment. You can't have the birth if things are not in alignment. Actually, the most of the time and energy during the birth process goes into the alignment between the mother and the child and creating that like an opening where the birth can happen, and then it's instant. So everything in our lives that have not been in alignment is going to step up into the alignment. This year is also having the characteristic of being unstoppable. That means doesn't look like we have much of a choice. Like things are happening. That's it. You can't stop the birth. It's happening. You can only flow with it. So we do have the highest choice because we have chosen to go through this transition. But looks like on our earthly lives that things are flowing and coming through. So there is no much reluctance, maybe like this, maybe like that. Let's keep the flow and that abruptness. This is the year of unexpectedness. Expect the unexpected. It's abrupt, it's thrilling, it's surprising, it's powerful, it's absolutely magical. We are going to notice changes within the what we call the idea of our own health. So the definition of health, well, nothing's hurting, I'm okay, is really moving scales and scales up, which means all of our systems need to be in the tip-top ship-shape status at all times, which means our inner alignment, but then alignment with the planetary energies, with the cosmic energies, needs to be at its best. And this year will again open up the ways, the protocols, the processes, everything that is needed for that level of health, or shall we call it super health. Another aspect of changes that we are going to see and witness a lot into this year is the abruptness and the changes in the behavioral patterns. You will find yourself in the very similar situations where you used to behave in a certain way. Now you're behaving very differently. And there will be powerful choices to be made. Not easy choices, but very empowering choices. By following the birth of this new consciousness within you, you are following and allowing that consciousness at all times. Sometimes it will seemingly clash with the old, with people around you, with the groups around you, with certain civilizational patterns. And you may find it's like easier to behave in a way that keeps everybody comfortable. But it's not time to be comfortable. The highest choice is to choose to bring what disrupts the comfortable of the old and brings the new very powerfully. Be aware of this because it might be challenging to live like this. However, be aware that to be respectful to somebody doesn't mean to keep them comfortable. It means to challenge them to the point where they grow and expand. The highest respect to somebody is not to be nice to their ego self and expectations, but to help them grow and expand. So we will have a lot of this throughout the year 2021 on so many levels. There are also specific messages for all the light workers or beings who are already on the path and humans who have gained certain level of openness and awakening. This year we are going to have lots of our multidimensional beingness manifesting on the earth plane through our systems. Until now, we used certain skills or certain abilities, this way, that way, a little bit here, a little bit there. However, majority of our multidimensional presence is going to manifest, of course, the majority which is necessary at this time. Be very careful with this process. It's very powerful and absolutely necessary for the next development of humanity. However, it's a precarious little process. And we are not talking even about the beingness of multidimensionality being manifested as one unified being. That will come. That are next stages for humanity. Right now, it is the tools and protocols and knowledge and skills that we have as a multidimensional level are now starting to manifest through this apparatus. The nervous system will need to be in a tip-top shape. The circulatory, the new organs and systems that are opening and awakening, everything needs to be following, put in order to manifest these abilities. Second aspect that will keep manifesting through the light workers especially, and the other beings on the planet Earth, is our higher training. So as a light workers or as a multidimensional beings, we have undergone very powerful trainings throughout our universal beingness. That is similar to, say, a generation of children who graduate from high school. Some of them will undergo the training to become doctors, and some of them will undergo training to become accountants. So are the higher aspects of training in the universe. So lots of aspects of your trained selves are also going to start showing the skills and protocols and ways into this earth plane. Again, that is a huge and intense next stage and step for humanity and for the light workers. So anybody who needs help, who needs individual sessions, who needs assistance with all this, by all means, ask for it. Throughout the year, there will be offerings in group sessions, individual sessions, all we need. And again, thank you, Divinity, for the source force, because being in the vortex and living in the vortex will allow us to grow accordingly and in ease and in grace. Third aspect we're just going to touch on today is the initiate aspect. So as multidimensional beings, we have gone through various initiations and we are initiate of the higher orders. Again, the energies of this initiation will start coming and flowing, but it is a much higher aspect that we don't have time to address right now, but it is important that we are aware that it is happening, and in 2021 will start happening much, much more. So looks like we are in for a very, very exciting year. Lots of visible divine intervention will be also present throughout 2021. The higher guides will conclude some curriculums, will open the new ones. So all of you that have been working with guides, or even humanity that have been praying to the angels and working with this and that and so forth, some of these things will be closing because those curriculums are over. However, the new higher curriculums will be opening. So please be with that process as well, because it is also going to be much more visible in 2021. So to complete this disclosure, the universe is giving us 3 advices. Yes, the good mother, Mother Kwan, is saying this. First, be focused. Absolutely, totally, 110% in the body, focused on the new. Lots of people are still focusing on the old, which is going and dissolving. However, with the shift of the conscious focus to the new, we are moving into thrilling, opening, higher, amazing vibrational status. Vitally important to be focused on the new. Second thing, stay in the vortex. Stay in the vortex at all times. We are done with the polarity reality. There is nothing for you into the polarity matrix. There is nothing else to learn. There is nothing else to achieve. There is nothing else to even close. It's closing by itself. We are given all the protocols for closure and completion. No problem with that. We are manifesting into the new vortex. So staying into the vortex is of utmost importance. Again, thank you for the Source Force tool and platform, because that is exactly the tool and platform for the practical utilization of being into the vortex at all times, 24/7. And you will receive further instructions, and of course, open for everybody who feels they need to step into the vortex. It's global, it's open, invite people, and we'll move together within the vortex energies. And the third aspect is keep building the civilization from inside out. This year, our perception and perspective of outer reality existence that we somehow perceive and then we take in and then we have certain thought forms or emotions about it needs to change into the truth. All the reality is created from inside out. So we are focusing in this joyful, expansive, magical, amazing mastery state where we are creating from inside out. So the new civilization is created by the tools, protocols, ways, guidance, intent, passion, all that we want to manifest into the new. So these are the 3 advices for us to adhere to. And let's enjoy this magnificent year. Lot is coming, and it's very intense, but it's also majestic, empowering, and absolutely perfect at this stage of our development. So I'm wishing you all to keep going, growing, and glowing in the new energies. Love, light, joy, peace, harmony, bliss to all. And I'm wishing you happy vortexing and happy civilization building. Karaira, Karai Rama.